Hey skiers and snowboarders of the Southeast, this is meteorologist Brad Panovich. As you may know, if you follow me online, I'm actually in Breckenridge doing some skiing of myself, and it's amazing the snow out here. I just can't even tell you how much snow we've had in the last 4 days, something like 50 to 60 inches. In fact, tonight we were down coming into the hotel lobby in some building down the road. They actually had a roof collapse. There's so much snow. So just been incredible powder days, but not such good news in the east. So let me talk about what's going on right now, because this pattern is just not looking really ideal. This is our typical January thaw that we seem to get every year, but this one looks like it's going to be kind of an extended thaw. Right now, you see the cold air diving back into the central U.S. This is a really cold air mass here, and you can see the Arctic front here. This is going to set up a pretty big ice storm here in the central and southern plains, but further east, you're seeing this flow of warm, kind of moist air ahead of it. The only thing keeping us cool has been the recent snowpack here in the southeast, and that snowpack is helping to keep some areas of North Carolina and the Virginias a little bit cooler than we normally would see with this type of setup. So when I look at the GFS model, we start seeing this warm air kind of stuck in place here for a while, a southwesterly flow that's going to be around through the upcoming weekend. So unfortunately, I wish I had really good news for the upcoming big Martin Luther King weekend holiday. It does look like we could get a little bit of snow up here in West Virginia because we're going to see a little bit of a backdoor cold front that's going to come down. So places like Wisp and maybe Snowshoe and possibly even Winter Place, the Virginias may get a little bit of wet snow with this little backdoor front. But overall, I don't think it's going to be that much. You can actually see what I call backdoor fronts when you have high pressure over New England, and that supplies that northeast wind. So you can see the slightly cooler air here across Virginia, but when you look at the precipitation here, you're looking at primarily rain, but you notice up here in western Maryland, this kind of a wintry mix, and I think even here in West Virginia, at the higher elevations, you possibly could see a little bit of a wintry mix with the onset of this, but most everywhere else, south, North Carolina resorts, this is looking like a cold rain that's going to be around through the upcoming weekend. We'll go through the weekend and go towards Monday. As we go towards Monday, we'll see temperatures start to warm back up again because the Arctic front gets stuck to the west, and we start to see the flow coming back out of the southwest again. So just a quick look at the model here as we go into the GFS real quickly. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll back this up a little bit. And you can see the rain that's around through Friday. We'll go into Saturday. You can see that kind of freezing line pretty close up there in the Virginias. Notice right up in here. So there could be a little bit of a wintry mix, but I primarily think this is going to be rain the later we get into the weekend. If any mix, it's going to be early on Saturday. And then we'll go into Monday. Especially Sunday night into Monday, you still see a little bit of a wintry mix maybe up in western Maryland, but most of the Virginias and North Carolina, it's just too warm for anything wintry. It will be chilly though, temperatures probably in the 40s, but it'll be above freezing for most of this period. And then we go into next week, we see that warm pattern set up. So let's look long range. This is looking at the temperature anomalies, and you can see the huge warm up here across the eastern half of the country. So we'll go out through the weekend. You can see that brief little shot of cooler air that tries to come in for Saturday and Sunday, but then the warm air starts to build again going into next week. So this is a pretty prolonged January thaw. We'll go all the way through next Thursday, and we're still well above normal here in the southeast. Not a good sign for making snow or getting any natural snow. We'll go into next weekend, and it's still warm. So this is a pretty prolonged period. But the one thing, if you're saying, oh man, winter's over, there's some signs that maybe it's not, because if you see back in the west, there is colder air trying to build back into the west, and even in Canada. Eventually this is going to try to move to the east, and you notice the warming starts to pull out. But it could take a good 7 to 10 days for this pattern to flip. And so as we go later in the month, we're talking the 25th, 26th, 27th, we start to see the cold air move back in. So it could be a 7 to 10 day period where we see warmer weather, but notice the cooler temperatures do come back, and you notice the time here, Friday the 27th. So that's late month, but at least there's signs that the pattern's going to flip. So if you're looking for maybe a chance to hit the mountains up before the end of the season, we still got a long ways to go. February, March, usually some of the snowiest months in the southeast, but it looks like at least this 7 to maybe 14 day period here in the middle of January, we're getting an extended January thaw. We haven't had one yet. We had some small little ones, but this one is the real deal. So wish I had better news for you, but the good news, eventually that cold air will flip back. So hold on. This is what it's like skiing in the southeast. We kind of deal with this every year. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll have another update coming up this weekend. And as always, think snow.